You spent months, maybe even years like myself, learning how to help people transform their lives. And you completed the practitioner hours. You passed the test, you got your credentials. But here's what nobody mentioned when you received your certification. Knowing how to help people and knowing how to build a business that actually fills your bank account are two completely different skills. Most service providers already market themselves, whether they realize it or not. They're just not getting paid to do it. And that's exactly what we need to talk about today. Hey, I'm Cindy, and I help coaches, therapists, practitioners, spiritual healers get paid to market themselves instead of chasing clients to pay the bills. Now, if you've ever felt embarrassed that your business isn't where you thought it would be by now, if you've ever wondered why this all just feels so much harder than it looks, there's a reason. So I want to take you back to my training. In 2018, I was sitting in a room full of eager practitioners, all of us ready to change the world. They brought in a couple of seasoned practitioners to speak to us. These people had waiting lists, long waiting lists of clients. They talked about referrals just showing up. Their calendars were booked out 6 months in advance, and clients were finding them. And I remember thinking, that is going to be me. I just needed to get certified. I just needed to show up, do the good work, and clients would come. They'd find me. Now, we're going to fast forward to the spring of 2020. I received my certification. I was ready to launch. And then you remember what happened next. March 2020, the world shut down. Everything we understood about work, stability, life flipped upside down overnight. People losing their jobs. Everyone suddenly was working from home. And the internet? Wow, the internet became flooded with life coaches, with spiritual healers, wellness experts, all trying to make a living online. And there I was, freshly certified, completely excited, and absolutely clueless about how to market myself in a world that had just turned sideways. So I did what most people do who just get their certifications. I bought into a program, into a coach. And honestly, it was the woman running the program that I bought into. She was very magnetic, successful. She seemed like she had it all figured out. She was brilliant. And her strategy was to run 5-day challenges every 6 weeks. That's how you filled your pipeline, how you brought clients into your business. So being new, I jumped in, both feet, all in. Challenge after challenge after challenge every 6 weeks. And I'm telling you what, that kicked my butt. I was exhausted. I was drained. My calendar owned me. I was running on fumes. And I did that for a full year. And you know what I finally realized? I had to come to the conclusion that it was not sustainable, not even close. I was at the mercy of my marketing schedule, constantly launching, constantly performing, constantly pushing. And that was never the plan. At least it was never my plan. And it surely didn't feel like freedom. And here's why I'm telling you this, because if you've ever felt like you're just doing everything right, following the strategies, showing up, posting content, and you're still exhausted, still anxious about where that next client is coming from, working twice as hard and still not getting traction, you need to hear what's coming next. I know you because you're just like me. You're the person who got into this work because helping people light you up. You didn't dream about sales funnels. You didn't fantasize about Instagram algorithms. You wanted to just hold space for transformation, to witness people becoming who they were meant to be. And now you spend more mental energy worrying about where your next client is coming from than actually doing the work you trained for. You're mentally doing that math at 2:00 in the morning, laying there eyes wide open thinking, if I can just get 3 more clients this month, if I can just fill this program, if I can just make it to the next quarter. You're the one who feels guilty charging what you're worth because you see how much your clients are struggling too. You're the one who quietly panics when a client finishes their package because you're thinking, you don't know who's coming next. Where's that next client going to be found? And underneath all of that, there's this voice that whispers, maybe you're just not cut out for this. Maybe you should just get a real job and help people on the side. Can I tell you something? That voice is a liar. The problem was never your calling. It was never your skill. It was never your heart. The problem is that your training gave you one piece of the puzzle and convinced you that it was the entire picture. Here's what I wish someone had told me the day I walked out of that training room. Knowing your craft, it's not enough. Your certification, as valuable as it is, prepares you to help people, but it does not prepare you to build financial safety. It's a missing piece in the system. Think about it. Most certification programs, they don't teach you how to attract clients. They don't teach you how to convert a conversation into a paying relationship. They don't teach you how to stabilize your income so you're not riding a roller coaster month after month. They don't teach you how to build something that just keeps working even when you can't. Because most trainers and certification programs are taught by people who are brilliant at their craft. I know mine was, but most never figured out the business side of it themselves. And it's the blind spot of our industry. They teach you how to be excellent at what you do, and that matters very deeply. But excellence doesn't pay the bills if nobody knows you exist. And here's the shift that changed everything for me. Building a sustainable practice isn't about being louder on the internet. It's not about hustling harder or posting more or running yourself into the ground with launch after launch after launch. It's about building resilience into your business, emotional resilience, financial resilience, structural resilience. And resilience comes from systems, not from stress. It comes from clarity, not chaos, and from support that you need, not suffering all by yourself. And here's what most people miss. You don't have to learn this the hard way. You don't have to burn out to figure out there's a better path. So stay with me here. I think about that version of me back in 2020, launching every 6 weeks, running on fumes, wondering why it felt so hard when I was doing everything I'd been told to do. And I think about why I started this work in the first place. I wanted to help people build lives that felt resilient, that felt sustainable, where they just felt safe. But I had built a business that felt like the opposite of all that. What changed wasn't learning another challenge or how to post content every hour all day long. It was realizing that I deserved what I was trying to give to my clients: resilience, a safety net to fall back on. I deserved income that didn't disappear the moment I stopped hustling. You became a helper because you believe in transformation. Isn't it time that transformation included your life too? You deserve a business that supports your life, not a life that gets swallowed by your business. And here's the best part. You don't have to learn the business side the hard way like so many of us did. Now, if any part of this video hit home for you, I want to give you something that would have saved me so much time and energy and heartache. It's called the Service Provider's Survival Guide. It walks you through the 5 biggest mistakes service providers like myself make. And more importantly, the shift that actually brings your business back into alignment. And it's free. I'm going to put the link in the description below. And if you're a coach, a therapist, a healer, or a practitioner who wants stability, clarity, and a business that finally feels like support instead of stress, this guide is your starting point. You are not meant to figure this out all alone. You're just ready to learn the part your training left out. I'll see you in the next video.